dominate the sport over here, but they've given Super League ice hockey a very British feel. It's the roughest, toughest league in Europe, and Super League ice hockey also happens to be the biggest indoor sport in the UK. The Challenge Cup features the best of the Super League teams, and over the next 5 weeks, we'll follow the qualification road to the semi-final stages, introducing the players, the personalities, and the subtleties of the game before building up to the Challenge Cup final in March.
My job really is trying to motivate my players, and hockey is such a game of emotion. As a coach, you almost want to like dig in and try to grab the last ounce of emotion out of each player and leave them almost mentally drained at the end of each game. And tonight's game, I know it's going to be played very hard. There'll be blood, sweat, and tears throughout the course of tonight's contest. But at the same time, I know these two teams have great respect for each other, as the organizations do as well.
So here we go.
We can promise you exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. We'll be going into the dressing rooms of some of the finest clubs in the country, like, for instance, the London Knights. Come with me. We'll be telling you about, the tears, the tribulations, as they happen. We'll be showing you stinky jockstraps, dirty kit. We'll be showing you probably more naked bodies than a Keith Chegwin quiz show. Anyway, it's very stinky in this dressing room at the moment, and there's certainly not some very pretty scenes, because we've got our commentators, Seth Bennett and Colin Hazelden. Hello, guys. Now, what is so special about UK ice hockey?
Well, if you hadn't been to a game for 10 years, say, you just wouldn't recognise it. Now, we're in big buildings like this one, big crowds. That's let the sport go fully professional. That's lifted standards to a whole new level. The British game, though, especially in European terms, has got something else going for it. It's very, very physical. This is where the tough guys come out to play.
And also what you see in the British game is guys that have played at the very, very highest level back in North America and around the rest of the world. The skill guys, the tough guys, they're all here and they're all playing in Britain.
Now, Channel 4 is covering the Challenge Cup. What exactly is it?
It's a very tight competition, very fiercely fought. It acts like a league at the start, but only the top four in that mini league, if you like, can qualify for the semi-finals. So that's what makes it so tough and hard fought. If you want to think of it a bit like the FA Cup in some ways, in that it can rescue a team's season. If you've not got off to the best start, you can come in through the Challenge Cup and really make a mark and win a trophy.
So what exactly should we be looking for in this game?
You're looking for what you look for in every ice hockey game, really. You're looking for the speed, you're looking for the physicality of it. It'll move incredibly fast. The hitting will look incredibly hard to anyone who's used to games like rugby, even. It will look very, very tough indeed out there to you. So look for that, and look for the accuracy as well. Remember, these people are controlling a tiny rubber disc that's 5 feet away from them. So look for the accuracy with which they do that. More than anything, though, look for the passion. This is a game that runs on adrenaline, momentum, and heart.
And tonight we've got two teams who both run on a lot of adrenaline, and they've got coaches which really get the best out of their players at all times.
So, here are the scores on the doors. First of all, these are the standings of the Secunda Super League going into this match. Sheffield at the top, London 18 points behind in second. But now, have a look at the Challenge Cup League standings. These are the ones to concentrate on. The teams play each other twice from selected Super League matches. The top four going through to the semis.
So who are the key players?
Well, I think one name you're going to have to look out for this evening is David Longstaff. He's British born. He was born up in Whitley Bay. He trained there, has come through the ranks, and this year's been a real breakout for him. He's big, he's strong, he's very good on the puck, and he does everything really. He's the total hockey player. London have got Dave Morissette. He's a new guy to the league. He's come in with a huge reputation. He's done things at the very top level back in North America. And the Sheffield Steelers have the heavyweight champion, if you want to look at it in those terms, in Dennis Vial. Now that could be the big matchup. Those two are the guys that go around, they police, they look after, and they make sure that the top skill players on the teams don't get any trouble.
Well, trouble is one thing we will be getting over the next 10 weeks. Each team has its own enforcers on the ice. They play a legitimate role in allowing the skilled players to do their thing.
You want to make sure that the toughness is kind of like an overture that kind of like hangs like a low cloud over the course of the ice. And as long as you have good team toughness and your team's well protected, then your goal scorers go out there and worry about scoring goals. If they're out there worrying about protecting their scalps, making sure that they can just exist out there, and a lot of times toughness can back good players off. I always try to make sure my toughness goes out, make sure that we're the one who gets on the hydraulics, gets our bench raised, and gets our guys out there playing real hard. And as long as you got the biggest bully in the schoolyard protecting your butt, then obviously you're going to be a little cockier out there.
The toughest of tough nuts on the London side is Dave Morissette, the Moose for short. But Sheffield are no slouches in that department either, and in Dennis Vial, they boast one of the Super League's truly terrifying characters.
Well, Denny Vial, I think he should be banned from the ISL. I just think he's way too physical for our league. But then again, we went and had we countered with Dave the Moose Morissette. And I watched for Denny Vial and Dave Moose Morissette really lock eyes and lock horns here tonight. Two big bulls protecting their herd, and watch those two guys to pay special attention to each other's actions.
So let's have a look at the Sheffield starting six first. Longstaff we've already mentioned. Now each team is effectively three teams in one. The outfield skaters are on the ice for no more than a minute at a time before they're off to the bench for a rest. This then is the rest of the lineup. One of the most significant players, the skillful Paul Adey. He'll be used in Sheffield's set plays. We've already mentioned this man, the Moose. London's starting six looks like this. And they also have strength in depth. But you'll see that the role players are a little different in the London lineup. They're physical skaters, the Moose and Darby Walker, brought off the bench by coach Chris McSorley when the going gets tough.
As a fan can look at a hockey player, just think of him as a race car with hardly any fuel in the tank. For about 30 seconds, 40 seconds worth of racing. A hockey player hits the ice for 30, 40 seconds, he's going just pedal to the metal, going at the opponent. Once his fuel runs out, he wants to look for the sidelines, and what he does, basically the next player in line, they exchange eyes, and then they make their change over the boards. And really, it's almost man on man. And from the fans, they get confused. They see 5 players going off, 5 players coming on, but truly those players have blocked eyes with their teammates. Those guys are responsible for making sure they replace the guy coming off the ice.
The build-up's over. We're ready to get underway as the referee, Simon Kirkham, stands at centre ice. Here he drops the puck. And we're underway in this one. Steelers immediately win the puck as they look to come forward on the far side of the ice. Still, they have it through Jeff Sebastian, the defenseman, looking to just fire this one into the zone. Picked up far side by Weaver. Comes back around behind the net. Steelers trying to work hard in the offensive zone. Good work by London, though, as they're going to pick up through Morissette on the far side. Steelers win it back though. Dale Craigwell looking to go behind the back of the net. Good work from Craigwell. He's looking to come round, fires it out in front, intercepted, and then Morissette comes back the other way. Good work by him. He just flicks that into the zone, but Steelers will intercept again.
First time we've got a look at Morissette, of whom so much is expected, but rather wasting that opportunity as he burst into the zone.
London looking to tidy up then through defenseman Rich Brunella. He just flicks that one out of his own end, and the Steelers will turn it back over. Really, it's been a bit of a bitty start though so far, and the Steelers, as they just make a little bit of contact without Aaron Bowe there, get this one fired back in. It's taken the deflection, and now the Steelers look to go forward. London win it back though. And Colin, neither team really wants to hold on to possession as it stands right now.
Pretty scrappy in the middle of the ice, as we see Brendan Yarrimer is one of the players who could open it up there, trying to win the puck on those left-hand boards. But neither team really getting a hold of things, and perhaps both trying to feel each other out a little bit.
Chance now then, nice little hit on Paul Borrado there. And the puck breaks free. Knights come forward. There's a chance for a shot, good shot as well. But that's saved by Mike Torture as the Knights try and put it back in again. But good defensive work means the Steelers should get a chance to clear here.
Brendan Yarrimer, the man getting the shot off. I said he might open things up. Great kick save, though, by Mike Torture away to his left.
Simpson looking to keep coming forward. There's been some more good defensive work, and now Yarrimer looks to tip that one forward. Another collision at centre ice as the Steelers goaltender Mike Torture comes to play that.
And it continues to be scrappy, really, as the puck's dumped into the far end of the ice there. Neither team has quite settled yet, have they?
Well, it's a big game. Both teams still perhaps trying to feel each other out at the moment as the Steelers look to come forward again, this time through Warren Norris. He flicks it far side. This one's fired in. Good save, Trevor Robbins, as there's a little hook in there. Somebody's lost a glove down on the ice. And now the Knights will get a chance to just put this one past the blue line. Carpenter looks to flick this one off the boards. It's going to go as we just see the London Knights in the middle of a line change there. Can change of personnel as the game goes on in ice hockey. As this one comes across, and now there's going to be a chance for Jay Neal. He gets this one forward. Steelers are back there though. They should get a chance to clear this one. Good hit that by Jay Neal, making sure he followed up his check on Steve Carpenter, making sure he issued contact. Then another good big collision right in front of the London Knights bench. That's sure to please coach Chris McSorley.
And both teams starting to get into it now. Just the collisions coming. They're starting to come for the London Knights, who are trying to put their stamp on this game in front of their home crowd early on.
Steelers come back through Adam Smith. He just manages to fire that one around. He checked himself doing so, actually. The Knights working hard, get a chance to break towards the net here. They don't quite manage it, though, and the Steelers are going to get a chance to clear through Dale Craigwell. Cross ice to Longstaff. Longstaff's under a bit of pressure as there's been a penalty call behind the play here. That's going to be on Jason Weaver as the London Knights goaltender just leaves the ice. Bowe brings it forward. Knights going to get a bit of a chance here, but Longstaff's there to intercept. So both teams back at full strength as we see Warren Norris and Brian Richardson contest the face-off, and the Knights have the puck. They fire down the ice. Steelers have got defenseman back there. It's Warren Norris who's doing defensive duties. He just looks to set things going here. He decides to leave it to Sebastian. Sebastian plays it out towards Smith. Smith's pass just about gets it out of the zone, and now the Steelers look to attack again. It's just fired round. The London Knights should get there first, and they do. Good work by them. Kent Simpson's in there for the Steelers, causing all kinds of problems. Now there's going to be a chance for Perry to clear. He's on his backhand side, just comes to the forehand, flicks it off the glass. And Smith's there for the Steelers. Neither team really making great inroads at the moment. As Trevor Robbins comes out and just looks to settle the play down here. Perry's there again for the London Knights, and now there's a chance for the Knights to come forward. Yarrimer coming into the neutral zone, looking to get into the Steelers' territory. Good work by him. He just dumps this one off as it breaks out of the zone.
You're going to be hearing an awful lot of that. The blue lines on the ice split it into three zones. You've got the neutral zone in the middle and the two team zones on the end. And a team defensively will try and clear its own zone to try and drive the other team backwards into neutral ice.
Hard hit on Aaron Bowe there. The Steelers win the puck back, but then good work by the Knights to get it towards Yarrimer. Yarrimer just over-skated the puck there for a second, but there could be another chance as this one comes back to Neil Martin. Backhand side, fires. Oh, it's gone in. The Knights have scored.
And it's a soft goal, you've got to say that, for the Sheffield Steelers to concede. Neil allowed to go through on the backhand, allowed to shoot high on Torture, and I don't think Mike Torture is going to be terribly happy to have conceded that over his shoulder. I don't know, maybe we'll get the chance to see whether he didn't get a terribly good look on it as the puck comes inside here, just behind him. We'll pick it up now. Neil on the backhand side, flips it over the top. And is that Yarrimer? Yes, it is. He's been at the centre of everything, and there he is, right in Mike Torture's face and preventing him seeing the puck as it came on through. And maybe that's the excuse for Mike Torture there.
London get things going with the opening goal. We'll be right back with the rest of the action. Welcome back to UK Ice Hockey and Channel 4's Challenge Cup coverage, with the London Knights leading the Sheffield Steelers by 1-0.
Now, if you're really, really bad, you get ejected. If you're just minorly bad, i.e. you chin somebody, it's just into the sin bin for you. Here's Chris McSorley, the coach of the London Knights, to tell you what's acceptable and what isn't in our rough guide to being rough on the ice.
Hi, I'm Chris McSorley, head coach of the London Knights. Today we're going to give you the rules of the game. This is a great opportunity for you, the fans, to see what is and what isn't, and what works and what doesn't. The rules of the game are very simple. Hockey's a contact sport, and we want to be sure you know what type of contact is allowed and isn't. Here you're going to see what is a legal elbowing. See him finish, elbows below the waist, a legal play.
Dr. Forrest, dial 118, please. Dr. Forrest, please dial 118.
Same two players, but this is where the referees don't like it. This will be an illegal checking, which will be called elbowing. Hands too high, elbow to the face, penalty every time.
Dr. Kravitz, you have a visitor in the main lobby. Dr. Kravitz?
Here we have Mark and Paul demonstrating what will be a high sticking infraction. 2 minutes for high sticking every time. Two. One of the more common rules of the game is the tripping call. 2 minutes tripping every time. What makes hockey a very unique sport is, believe it or not, fisticuffs is legal. Although penalized, fisticuffs is very much part of the game of ice hockey.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
London then, with a bit of confidence now from the goal, are going to look to send this one forward. Mike Torcher just leaves that one to Carpenter. He gets hit hard into the corner though, and then he gives the puck up. That one comes out in front, just goes wide though. The London Knights really looking to put the pressure on here. It goes deep behind Torcher's net. Steelers win this one back through Dennis Vial. Good play by him. He's got such a hard man reputation. Really is a heavyweight champion of this league.
And he's a great player as well, and that's one of the things about it. That's the way, one of the ways this league has improved over time, really. The tough guys can play hockey now as well.
Another big hit behind the back of the net there, and the Steelers pick it up with Jason Weaver. He's just been cross-checked and forced wide. Puck's going to come back out. Kept in well by Vial, as this one's fired out again by the London Knights. So the Steelers are just going to have to reset what's going on. Carpenter going to look to pass this one forward. He just passes it softly as the Steelers look to come into the zone again. Good work by them, but the Knights are just going to flick this one off the plexiglass. The Steelers just have to reset. Neither team, though, Colin, at the moment just seem to want to carry the puck. It's been a lot of just passing the puck into the corners and then going to try and find it.
Yeah, it's dump and chase hockey, isn't it? They're dumping it in, they're chasing after it. It's as simple as that. That's really what it's all about. We haven't seen those little flashes of skill that can really open it up, apart perhaps so far from Brendan Yeremo, who's been excellent.
Knights come back again. Chowden, the defenseman, coming forward. He drops this one off to Koivanoro. Koivanoro looks up. This one comes out in front as that one's tipped. It goes just wide though.
Great lifting of the stick there out in front of the goal. That was all that prevented that. As the puck came across, you'll see the defenseman come in. He just lifted Chowden's stick just at the last minute, just took it off the ice. Puck shoots underneath, and no chance of a goal.
Well, there's the big boy, Dave Morissette. He's been fairly quiet so far in this one, and I'm sure, as you can see, the Knights coach, Chris McSorley, he's going to want Morissette to have more of a physical presence in this one. Face-off is going to be in the Sheffield Steelers zone then. The two centremen get ready to take the draw here. The linesman drops a puck, and the Steelers have done very well to pick that one up. Smith plays this one around. Steelers looking to break out of their own zone. London doing well though, collecting it at centre ice. Can be cleared again though. The Steelers have to work back. Adam Smith, good skating by him. He's going to take a huge hit there. That was great play by Pat Fischweiler. Now Beraldo looks to come forward. He's got good hands when he wants to use them. Cuts back to the outside. Just decides then to snap this one around. Robbins fires it back round the boards as we see another collision. Good hit there by the Sheffield Steelers. That was Paul Beraldo as the puck comes all the way back around. This one's going to be snapped across. Simpson scores on the doorstep. Well, that was a goal made out of nothing, but Ken Simpson, with 13 minutes and 18 seconds gone, makes it Steelers 1, Knights 1.
And that's one, say the fans. That's one against the London Knights. Fired in from the left-hand side by Short. Chris McSorley disgusted, and no wonder, because Kent Simpson was given far too much room on the doorstep there to get in there and let the puck go in off his body or his stick. I don't know. Maybe we'll see here. It bounces in. There's the deflection. It kicks in, perhaps off Kent Simpson's shorts. Not really clear from that particular replay. Perhaps we'll get a different angle on it in just a moment. Kent Simpson, though, he's going to be credited with the goal on the bench. He will be a happy man right now.
Chris McSorley has to be upset, though, because look at the amount of space Simpson had. Really, he was still standing, and he's such a small player to be left to put the puck home from such a short distance.
It's part of a defenseman's job to move players like that from out of a goalkeeper's face. You don't want them there, because that is exactly what happens. They get a lucky bounce, they get a lucky deflection, kicks off the goalkeeper and can go into the net. Defenseman's job, move him out the way.
Well, McSorley's had some choice words for all his players. As we get things back underway here, the Steelers look to come forward again. They go far side. Craigwell looks up again. He's just trying to handle the puck there as he fires this one in. The rebound comes out. There's going to be a chance to clear. It's going to be Yarama looking to come forward near side. He's going to just snap that one all the way around the board. Steelers and Knights are battling hard on that far side. Huge hit just behind the play, but the Knights still have it. They're looking to find a man in the slot, but there was nobody there, so they're forced to go all the way behind their own goal. Robbins plays this one around. It's going to be picked up by Brunilla. Brunilla just gets this one to the blue line. Steelers intercept. This one comes out in front, though. Longstaff couldn't get there. He was spinning on that one.
A poor defensive moment there for the London Knights. They were lucky the Steelers didn't make them pay as Dale Craigwell picked it up on the blue line with the interception.
Carpenter fires down the ice. Nobody's touched it, though, so as London touch up, that's icing.
Technical hockey term, icing. Very, very simple, though. A team plays it from inside its own half. It goes behind the opposition's goal line. If it's one of the defensive team that touches up first, it brings it all the way back to the other end. We start again.
Brabant against Richardson. Brabant wins that draw. Smith plays this one round. He's put his defenseman in a little bit of trouble here, though. There's a good forecheck by the London Knights. Steelers will get there. There is a chance for them to just about clear now.
Another hockey term to explain there, forecheck. It's simply putting pressure on the opposition. You can throw as many forwards as you like forward, just to push against the opposition and make them make a mistake.
Torchia decides to leave this one for Jeff Sebastian. He just plays that one round as he gets hit hard again. London doing a really good job of making sure that they check even when the puck's already been passed. The Knights are trying to clear this one out of their own zone. Big hit by Paul Beraldo as the puck breaks back towards centre ice.
You've got to argue for a penalty call there. Beraldo went in quite hard. I think there was an argument for perhaps cross-checking or something like that as he came in hard and behind on his man.
Sebastian, no look pass to Longstaff. Longstaff, what a move, going around the outside, comes in, still Longstaff scores! What a goal for David Longstaff. He made a couple of moves going through the neutral zone, then in he came all alone. Longstaff has made it London 1, Steelers 2.
That was beautiful. Really, really special goal from David Longstaff. What a move he pulled on the blue line. Not to take anything away from the quality of the goal, but you've got to ask if the London Knights shouldn't have come just that little bit closer to him here. He skated through, and once he pulled the move, he had all the time in the world to get through on net.
Well, the London Knights bench, there's Dave Morissette. He doesn't look happy as he smacks the plexi. Chris McSorley just making a few notes, but I think we're going to get a chance to see it again, Colin. And one thing to really savour is the quality of Jeff Sebastian's no-look pass.
Yeah, he's not looking at all here. He just flicks it out to his left, and there's Longstaff. Watch this move here. How many fakes are there in that move as he goes past his man and beats him round to the outside?
Great work by Dale Craigwell, hooked and hauled down to the ice. He drew two defensemen to him, allowing David Longstaff all the room to put the finish on that one.
So Sheffield take the lead through David Longstaff. We rejoin the first period in the closing stages.
Well, with Sheffield leading 2-1, London are going to want to try and get back into this as soon as they can, as the Steelers fire this one the length of the ice to Neil Martin. Martin's got all kinds of time to set up the play here as he looks up and fires forward. Knights looking to come forward as this one breaks wide, fired in, save Torture on the tip, and great play by Big Mike Torture. Somehow he managed to just drop down on that one.
We picked him out at the start of the game, didn't we, as one of the men to watch. We said he had a thing for the spectacular, and he certainly shows it here. The puck comes in from this left-hand side. He's got to make one save out to his left with the leg, and then the puck is bouncing out in front of him. He's got to be quickly on it to cover up and to avoid giving up the rebound.
We see how important Neil Martin is for setting up the breakout play here as he passes the long puck forward as he sees the open ice ahead of him.
And this is ice hockey at its best, really. Defence to attack in the space of, 5 seconds there, and a spectacular save on the end of it.
There's some more physical play between Brian Richardson and Adam Smith. There's probably about 3 foot height difference between those two. But Mike Torture has been a real revelation this year.
He certainly has. He came in as the number 2. He seems to be establishing himself now as Sheffield's number 1 in the net. Some spectacular performances and some great shutouts as well.
London with a fresh line out on the ice then are going to try and get things motoring offensively. As the puck's played all the way around, Steelers just trying to clear it here as we're coming towards the end of the period. London looking to get some action going of their own as Chowden just tips this one forward. Sebastian's going to try and clear again though, but London get it back. It's played forward, Longstaff couldn't handle as Yarama comes in, looks up, shoots, scores! Great work by Yarama. He went through Longstaff and he went through Sebastian, and then he beat Mike Torture to tie it up at 2.
London Knights right back in it towards the end of the period. They've got the momentum. He might at least smile. And I think David Longstaff's mistake here as we see it. Oh no, just a bouncing, bobbling puck hot right over his stick. And in fact, it was Sebastian jumping forward, trying to block the play, who allowed Yerema to get in behind him and give him the opportunity of the shot. And Torture really beaten low and to his left. Brendan Yerema just giving the details of the goal to the referees. That guard on his face, incidentally, is a chin guard. He's damaged his jaw recently, and that's why he's got that protective gear. It didn't hamper him there, did it? Great goal, low to Torture's left.
That was the last action of the period. London fighting back to level the scores through Brendan Yerema. But it was the Steelers' second goal, scored by David Longstaff, that was causing most concern in the locker room during the first break.
Thank you when he caught this one. I'm going to get a long point. Well, better defensively, boys. We got these guys, eh?
Boy, second goal, that guy cannot walk around the net like that. That was my fault. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter. There's 5 guys on the ice.
You just want them like a band of thieves. You want these guys just to travel together, and you want them to, go to lunch together and play hard together. And teams that really play well for each other and play for each other usually play well for the organization. And I really try to emphasize team unity and player camaraderie. And you get that chemistry going. And as a coach, you just want to know enough just to stand out of the way and let the team go.
Outside the locker room, McSorley is trying to work out his strategy for period 2. He's renowned as one of the most competitive coaches in the league, and the players have learned to respect his will to win.
Well, Chris and I have hit it off quite well. Last year was my first year under Chris, and I really enjoy playing for Chris. He's very intense, demands a lot from his players. He's feisty. You won't have a problem with Chris if you work hard and you play your role and you play hard. He's not an easy guy to play for, but championships demand sacrifice, and if you want to win a championship, we have the coach that's going to help us win a championship, definitely.
Start of the second then, 2 apiece between the London Knights and the Sheffield Steelers at the London Arena, underway. Defensively, London are just going to slow it down now, keep the pace nice and even as they try and build up from the back and flick it out into neutral ice. Picked up by Morissette. We've not seen the long-expected tussle between him and Dennis Vial. Maybe we'll see something spectacular here. Down the right-hand side it goes now. That's Craigwell, nice hands. Just drops it off, tries to flick it inside. Big hit on the boards. London trying to put the pressure on. Smith's waiting there on the blue line for the puck to come out to him. Loose stick, interrupts play, and it bounces out towards the near side, harmlessly rather, into neutral ice.
It's been a better and more up-tempo start to this second period. Both teams looking to issue body contact wherever they can, really. I think that's something that's going to possibly help the London Knights.
Absolutely, both teams a little bit physical. Aaron Bow, one of the more physical players in the league, just pushing things forward. Craigwell, confident enough, looking for the long outlet pass there, down towards that left-hand side, just trying to get Simpson released, and Simpson really has got some speed, so he's trying to get Simpson's speed going, but he didn't have the reach there to put his stick on the puck.
Whether Sheffield coach Mike Blaisdell had sent out orders or not, this was the cue for Steelers hard man Dennis Vial to up the ante. 2 minutes in the sin bin for slashing.
Come on, Dennis, you're still slashing, let's go.
The victim on this occasion was the hardware rather than the player. But once VR was back on the ice, London Knights ran into their own penalty trouble. First, with this charging infraction by Michael Chaldon, and then with coach Chris McSorley having to send a player from the bench to the sin bin for complaining about that original penalty decision. So, London were down to the goaltender and just 3 skaters out on the ice, with Sheffield at full strength.
So Sheffield with 5 skaters out on the ice, London only with 3. It doesn't get much worse than this. It's going to last for a whole 2 minutes. Sheffield will not have a better opportunity to go into the lead. They're going to look to get things started as soon as they possibly can. That's a good interception though, and London clear it up the ice just as quickly as possible. Longstaff picks it up. They're just going to pace themselves into the zone here. They've got plenty of time, remember, because they've got the 2-man advantage. Metcalf playing it round from behind the net, back towards the blue line. Sheffield will pass it around now, look for the shot, snapped in now and just blocked and turned away. That was men in front of the net there, stopping that shot on the far side. It's Weaver playing it out. You've got Craigwell waiting on the far side, and he's made himself available. He'll get in towards net now, circling around. Longstaff plays across, snapshot comes, great save, left and then right. Fantastic work from Trevor Robbins, and that is why he's one of the top goaltenders in this league.
I think we're going to see on the replay here David Longstaff come around the net. He's got all kinds of space and time, looks up and sees Weaver, and Weaver can fire the puck 91, 92 miles an hour, and there was Trevor Robbins at point-blank range.
And he made the double save. Face-off taken then. Steelers still putting on the pressure. Big hit in that corner from Dale Craigwell. The checks come on going. Metcalf's going to drive it in. Goes in front of net, turned away again. And it bounces into neutral ice. That will give London just a few seconds relief. Metcalf is there over the blue line, skating down that left-hand side now, trying to get past his man, Brunilla. Can't quite do so. Into the corner, flicking it away again are the London Knights. Carpenter has managed to keep it in. He'll get it back on the blue line now. They're just passing it around, looking for the opening, looking to put it out in front. Back it goes again, driven shot. It'll come in out in front. All sorts of sticks going in on the goaltender. London Knights don't like that. Weaver's involved in there. Longstaff's involved in there. Longstaff's taken a punch from Ferschweiler there, and he's given him one right back. It's going to all calm down. Weaver's pushing and shoving. Another punch thrown, and now Weaver's having a go back, and now Longstaff's in there. He wants to have a go at all 3 of them. This is incredible, unbelievable, because Longstaff, Seth Bennett, is not the kind of man to get involved in this.
David Longstaff plays usually with a smile on his face, doesn't get too mixed up in most of the physical stuff, but there's Chris McSorley, the coach of the London Knights, and he's not going to be very happy with his team. They can't afford to get drawn in to that kind of physical battle. As much as anything, it doesn't make sense. There's only 3 Knights on the ice and there's 5 Steelers. It'd be a little bit unfair, don't you think?
But I think these penalties are going to balance out in the long run. Nevertheless, it is going to penalise both teams. We picked out Longstaff and Weaver at the start of the game, but not, we have to say, for their fighting abilities, more for their skillful play, and perhaps they'll be missed now on the rest of this power play.
I think a lot of this must have stemmed from the frustration, as we see the London Knights all try and pack into the penalty box there, that the Steelers weren't able to get the goal quickly on the power play.
Well, they're going to have even more of an opportunity there. Chris McSorley watching things as we see the tangle breaking out again. You can see the tussle just starting to explode on the edges here.
And Trevor Robbins is involved as well as Pat Ferschweiler. Pat Ferschweiler is not the kind of player, as well as David Longstaff, to get involved. He's the club captain and a very experienced veteran player.
Trevor Robbins, an edgy character, and his teammates will try and defend him because they know how easily he's rattled. You can see just how crowded that penalty box is there. How many London Knights can you fit into a penalty box, complete the joke and send it in? Well, there is Chris McSorley then, marshalling his depleted troops for the rest of this penalty. Remember, the London Knights, only 3 skaters out on the ice, so the Steelers will try and put pressure on straight away. That's good defensive work though from Perry as he holds up Scott Allison.
The Steelers with this great opportunity to take the lead in this game, and they really have to make sure they take advantage of it now with so many players out there.
Shot going to be passed out to the far side. Baraldo is going to look now, maybe to fling it back on net. Instead, he's going to exchange passes. Here comes the shot now. Driven in. It's bouncing the back of the net somehow. Scotty Allison is the man celebrating. Chris McSorley is disgusted. Allison is indeed getting the credit. I don't know how it went in the back of the net. However it went in, the Steelers lead it 3-2.
Here we see Paul Baraldo. Nice passing between the 2 players playing defence. Good shot on goal. The deflection must have come off Scott Allison. And by the looks of the Sheffield Steelers fans, they're just happy to be back in this one. And looking at Chris McSorley, well, he's not impressed, is he?
Well, Urema's straight back out there to get back on the ice and to do something about it now, because he knows, Chris McSorley, that his team is in trouble, and Sheffield are pushing their way towards that Challenge Cup semi-final berth.
We get a chance to pause the action here. Paul Braudo, he sees the three London Knights set up in a triangle. He's going to look back to the point, though. He's not going to shoot it on goal. The puck comes back very quickly, gets a quick shot off. I think he was looking top corner, and there was Scott Allison well, somehow he managed to kick that one in without moving his feet.
Which is an achievement. You can't kick the puck into the back of the net, but it can bounce in off you, and that's exactly what happened to Scott Allison there, and that's why the Sheffield Steelers lead this game now by 3-2.
Welcome back. It's the London Knights versus the Sheffield Steelers. We said it was going to be tight, and this is a game that Sheffield must win. Otherwise they, one of the favourites, are out of the Challenge Cup.
Chris McSorley there, prowling on his bench. Glance up at the clock, he'll see it shows just over halfway in this game. The Steelers with a 1-goal lead, absolutely nothing as far as hockey is concerned. Won by the Steelers, the face-off there, outside their own zone, forced to retreat, and Weaver is the outlet on the left-hand side. They're just going to push it up on their left-hand boards. Craigwell firing it across, just tipped away there, and turns straight back into neutral ice, moving very, very quickly now, end to end. This is Yerema. He picks it up, winds up, shoots, scores! Oh, Brendan Yerema, his second goal of the game, and almost identikit down the left wing, wound it up, put it into the bottom left-hand corner past Mike Torchia, and the London Knights have tied it up.
Well, Brendan Yerema has played so well in this one. He's had such an influence on the game, and what a bullet shot that was. Mike Torchia just couldn't get anything on it.
And pressure all the way back on the Sheffield Steelers now. They know they've got to win it to stay in the Challenge Cup.
6 goals and a brawl involving most of the players on the ice. Not bad for 2 periods of play. And the match remained quiet at the start of the third and final period. We rejoined the action with the clock ticking down and the scores still tied.
McCosh then, picking it up off the boards, and he'll just look to calmly clear his zone. The pressure's being put on, but Longstaff, nice outlet pass from him. And here's a moment. Here the Sheffield Steelers can put the pressure on. Craigwell tries to get through on net. He's just knocked off the puck, but still they've got the opportunity with Weaver. Weaver tries to make the pass, and perhaps he should have shot.
Jason Weaver then, perhaps he wasn't selfish enough, and I think we'll see on the replay that he had all kinds of time to shoot the puck in any area in the top half of the net. If he would have only done that, it would have been a goal, but instead he decided to pass, and Trevor Robbins was able to get a piece of it and cover up the puck.
Yes, you give Trevor Robbins enough time, he will always stop you. A very capable goaltender indeed, one of Chris McSorley's greatest assets, and some players will tell you the best in the league. The statistics would dispute that, but I'm sure Trevor Robbins would agree with his teammates. Face-off to be taken then. Rick Brabant is in there. He's one of the best at this particular hockey discipline, winning the puck from these set-piece drops. We'll see if he can do it here. We're going to have a moment's pause. The players hate this. They really do not like to wait before the puck is dropped.
Face-offs, they're all about hand-eye coordination, watching when the linesman drops the puck, then using that speed to draw it back.
And you could argue that the Steelers won that. Rick Brabant has gone into the corner. He takes a massive check from Chaldron, and then he's put down to the ice. All sorts of tussles going on in there. Allison goes in after Chaldron. Brabant will skate away from it. The puck behind the net now. Rick Brabant's back in there again, and he'll still get tangled up. Hacked and chopped at from behind. Another big check into the boards there. Rick Brabant tangled up again. Down they go, and flicked over the top by the London Knights as they clear it up the ice. Adam Smith picking it up calmly for the Sheffield Steelers, going from left to right. Play it into neutral ice now. London have picked it up again. All pile on the pressure. They've got men coming on through, but Yerema can't quite get there. He was looking for his hat-trick as the pass came in.
Actually, there's something happening behind the play with Rick Brabant as we see a replay here. He went in hard into the balls with Chaldron, then Chaldron came around with a nasty butt end right into the nose of Brabant. Braudo came in to help out again, and that was something that was just building up, and we think Brabant's been hurt. We think there's going to be some blood down on the ice. As Rick Brabant gets up there, we see a bloodied face there.
That was a very nasty incident indeed, that. Chaldron came right round with his stick, doesn't he, and really got his full force behind it. You can tell Rick Brabant's not happy. You can tell he's really quite badly hurt.
That's something that's built up over a long period of time, though. They had a little niggly session for the whole of that shift. And Rick Brabant, he's a very experienced hockey player, and, well, as he gets seen to now by the Sheffield Steelers physio Dave Doherty, the question is, will he be able to continue in this game? Is he just going to be able to get a couple of stitches and get back out on the ice? Looking at him, it looks a little bit more serious than that.
Yeah, he's not very happy, is he, about what happened to him? He's not very happy at the prospect that he might have to go off, and I think he's going to have to there, as we look at him getting up off the ice, and he's obviously been badly and immediately hurt, and that is the result. Well, the face-off is going to be on the ice, but Rick Brabant is not, because he's skating towards the far end. He's going to take no further part in this game, at least not for the time being. He's going off the ice now to get himself patched up, and he's not very happy about it, is he? Not terribly impressed at all.
Don't you think it's amazing that such an experienced player like Rick Brabant, he's got blood coming from all parts of his face, and still he doesn't want to leave the game. He's still upset. I wouldn't like to be in that Sheffield Steelers locker room right now.
A little hook back there as the Sheffield Steelers tried to put the pressure on once again. Robbins well out of his net to cover up.
I think we're going to get another chance to see Rick. There he goes, bang! He smashes his stick up one way, smashes it up the other way. He's just about broken it. Well, forget that. He'll just throw that into the locker room, throws the glove down, kicks it. Hey, if he carries on like that, he might get some Premiership football.
He's not going to need any of that kit, I don't think, for the rest of this game.
Well, that was the last real incident of regulation time. The teams then played off a 5-minute overtime period, which is just like the golden goal rule in football. Now, the first team to score wins the match. But despite the best efforts of the coaches and the home fans, neither team could break the deadlock. So that means a best-of-5 penalty shootout. Sensei, here's Colin and Seth once again.
So it's 5 penalty shots then for either team, as we see Trevor Robbins, the London Knights goalie. Sheffield Steelers have decided to make a change. In comes Mike O'Neill for Mike Torchitt. The crowd all on the edge of the seats as we see the most exciting play in hockey. Everyone's a little bit worried about this as Norris makes a move and scores. Great penalty shot by Warren Norris.
And it's important to explain that in ice hockey, a penalty shot is more often saved than it's scored. So anytime you see a goal like this, it really is a little bit special. You see him pull the move there to the left. He pretended he was going to go to the goalie's right-hand side, pulled it across and shot the other way. And now, at the other end, it's going to be Rich Brunilla coming forward to skate through on Mike O'Neill. He pulls the move and pushes it past O'Neill into the bottom corner. That's pleased the London Knights fans and relieves some of the tension.
Mike O'Neill, the Sheffield Steelers goalie, perhaps he's not fully loose, he's not played the whole game, he should be sharp, but perhaps he's just struggling on that first penalty shot. Great move by Brunilla though, as the Steelers see Paul Adey, veteran, coming down. Good work by him as he weaves in. Still, oh, what a move! Fantastic move by Paul Adey. He just sat Trevor Robbins down and then just went all the way around him and fired into the empty net.
Trevor Robbins has been outstanding all game, but he got sold the right one here, didn't he? Dragged right out of his net as Paul Adey pulled the move on him, weaved around him and had the empty net to shoot at in the end. Here's the star for the London Knights now, Brendan Yerema. Can he be the star on the penalty shot? Bearing down O'Neill, high shot! Oh, brilliant, Yerema. You don't see many of those. Often they'll try and pull the little move. This time Brendan Yerema just went high on Mike O'Neill. Beautiful shot, beautiful goal.
Scored 2 low, 1 high. That's Brendan Yerema today. Got to be one of the stars of the game for us up here in the commentary box. Well, it's 2 apiece. Nobody's missed yet as Jason Weaver comes in. Weaver, big left-handed shot, looks up, fires top corner. What a lovely finish by Jason Weaver. Steelers fans, and there's quite a large contingent of them. They're jumping up and down as Weaver just high-fives the bench.
Well, anything Brendan Yerema can do, I can do, says Jason Weaver, skating through on net. Not quite the power, but certainly the control as he pulled Trevor Robbins down to the ice and fired high. Here at the other end, though, it's Richardson. Richardson through on net, saved by Mike O'Neill. Brilliant save by Mike O'Neill. That's what we expect to see on a penalty shot.
Richardson didn't really look too confident going in there. He's pleased all the Steelers fans though, because Mike O'Neill was able to make a good save off that shot. As we see it in the replay here, he just made the move and then, I think O'Neill just about managed to get some stick on that to flick it over the crossbar. This lady would like to see Paul Baraldo come in and miss on this one. Let's see what he can do as he comes in, makes a move. Oh, he's fired this one just wide. Trevor Robbins forced the angle very, very hard on Paul Baraldo. he wasn't able to complete the finish.
Yeah, Trevor Robbins finally gets one right, spots what Beraldo's going to do, goes down low to his near post, and the celebrations you'll see there because that just helps keep London in touch. 3-2 in Sheffield's favour. Here they come then, the London Knights with Jay Neal on the penalty shot, takes it out towards the right-hand side, looks for the high shot, turned away by Mike O'Neill, and that really does put Sheffield in pole position now, because one more goal and they will win this hockey game as Mike O'Neill makes the kick save.
Mike O'Neill's only just come into this one, but he's done his bit already for the Sheffield Steelers, and there's Brendan Yarama. He's been one of the stars of the game for the London Knights. He can hardly bear to look. Allison comes in then. It's all or nothing for the Steelers. Allison, backhand side, fires, goal! What a finish, and a calm penalty by Scott Allison, and he delights the travelling masses. Chris McSorley, though, on the other bench, he's not too happy as we see the celebrations on one side of the ice. And the home team, Colin Hazelden, well, they'll be disappointed with this one.
They will be disappointed, but the Sheffield Steelers came in here knowing what they had to do. They kept it level. It's a fine penalty from Scott Allison. Really, he always goes on the backhand. You'd think goaltenders would be ready by now. They weren't. Chris McSorley will walk away a disappointed man. The Sheffield Steelers, though, have given themselves every chance now of going through to the Challenge Cup semi-finals, a cause that would have been completely lost had the Steelers gone down to a defeat here in the London Arena.
A vital win for Sheffield there, keeping them in the hunt for one of those Challenge Cup semi-final spots. And despite the loss, London themselves are still on track for the Final Four.
OK, we're here in the dressing room after the game. It's a filthy old mess. Go, it's as dirty as a Pamela Anderson home video. And here I've got the boys with me, Colin and Seth. What an amazing match. What was the turning point?
Well, the turning point, you've got to say, was the penalty shots at the end, which is a cruel, cruel way for any game to be lost. It wasn't quite the confrontation we were expecting, was it? But it was a very, very tense battle and some great, great goals in the middle of all of that.
I think as well, it going down to penalty shots, neither team really deserved to lose on the strength of their performances. Both of them worked very, very hard, and as Colin said, there wasn't that physical battle, but there were some great moments of skill throughout the game.
Absolutely. Now, who was your man of the match there?
For Sheffield, you've got to say David Longstaff, purely on the strength of that goal. I mean, what a goal that was. What a piece of skill to bring it into the zone in the first place, and then to get the shot off and to score such a beauty in a game, a tight game like this. That's really, really special, and a British player to boot.
Fantastic. Now, next week, we're off to Manchester. We're seeing Belfast versus Manchester. Is that going to be a good game?
It's going to be a corker, an absolute corker. You can't underestimate the impact that Belfast have made in Northern Ireland. They've only just started playing out of their home. They're playing to sell-out crowds there, and that's really lifted their form. And you've got to say, on current form, they've got to be the favourites, perhaps, to lift the Challenge Cup at the moment.
Manchester so far this season have been a big disappointment to their fans. A team that's built with a lot of skill, some big, strong, tough players as well. And if they play well, then they can be the best team in the league. But too much this season, it's been like a roller coaster and been up and down, night in, night out.
Sounds great. Join us next week. It should be a belter.
Backhand side, fires, goal! What a finish, and a calm penalty by Scott Allison.